Everyone has something in their life that can be a stressor, but some people deal with their situations in more positive ways in order to take control. It's not difficult. You can do this too. Welcome to Thinking Hypnotically, Living Mindfully, with your host, Rusty Williams. In this program, you'll learn how using hypnosis and mindfulness can lessen the stress and strengthen your life. Now, here is Rusty Williams.
Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to this Wednesday. If you're listening to this on a Wednesday, welcome to Wednesday. If you're listening to this as a recorded show, well, welcome to whatever day of the week you happen to be listening to it. Hey, I want to remind you, check out our Facebook page, NJ Hypnosis Training. You can send me messages there. You can look at some of the studies, the research, some of the information that I'm going to talk about today and I've talked about in previous shows is on that page. And also check out our website, njhypnosistraining.com, or you can email me directly at 13.rwilliams@gmail. That's the number 1313.rwilliams@gmail. And I mention that for this reason. Here's the little teaser to have you hang on till the end of the show. I'm going to make an announcement, share a product with you for free, and I'll tell you how you can get that. And the best way to get that, well, here, I'll just let the cat out of the bag now, is to email me and simply ask for it. It's going to be posted on our website, hopefully by the end of the week. And if you want it sooner than the end of the week, you can email me, and I will give it to you, send it to you free of charge. And at the end of the show, I'll tell you what that's all about. How's that for a teaser, right? It's like the full story. Stay tuned for the full story at 11. Well, here we go. If you recall in previous shows, there was talk about mindfulness and how we can use visualization and guided imagery to create what we want to create in our minds. And if you recall a few shows ago, I talked about, I believe it was when we were talking about the power of the unconscious mind, how there was a study done by a researcher at a university where it involved basketball players practicing free throws. And the players who practiced every day and through actually physically practiced throwing the ball into the net, nothing but net, right? And then a group that just visualized doing it. And they did this for 30 days. And the group that visualized it statistically improved almost identically to the group that practiced every day. And that was, I shared that just to help hopefully explain the power of our imagination and the power of the unconscious mind. And you remember also, I believe I also mentioned the Olympic, I believe it was from Britain, who in the Olympics some years ago was a javelin thrower. He won a silver medal in an Olympics. 4 years later, a couple weeks before his event, he injured his ankle really badly. And he could only visualize throwing the javelin. And that's what he did every day because he had to stay off his foot, off his ankle. And by doing that, he won the silver medal in that Olympics. So I shared that to try to help demonstrate that we all have this power. We have this power of the imagination, of creativity in our minds. And if you've ever watched, and I would recommend this, if you've ever been to an air show or seen it on TV with the Blue Angels or the Air Force Thunderbirds, there's a documentary out on the Blue Angels. And if you get a chance and you're interested in this, I'm an aviation geek kind of from flying helicopters years ago. There's a documentary out. You can find it on YouTube. The behind-the-scenes look at how the Blue Angels practice, how they get to their air shows, and what they do. And in the pre-flight, in the briefing just before each and every show, the lead pilot, they call him the boss, they sit down in a room at wherever the show is being held, whatever Air Force base, and the boss goes through and narrates every single move, every maneuver that they're going to fly. And if you watch it, everyone in the room, all the pilots go into this almost like trance-like state. Some of them have their eyes open, some of them have their eyes closed, and the boss is talking very slowly, and he'll say something to the effect, and now engine speed up now. And he talks like this because when you look around the room, you see everyone in sync with their hands. Their hands are moving as if they're actually on the control stick flying the maneuvers. And they do this each and every show. So I got to thinking that if visualization, if guided imagery can help athletes, if it can help pilots, and these pilots, by the way, are flying within 18 inches, 24 inches wingtip to wingtip at hundreds of miles an hour. If it can help these people, it can certainly help you and I. And this is one of the things that hypnotists, those involved in mindfulness, those practitioners, we share this with our clients. And believe it or not, we all use visualization. We visualize things all the time, even if we're not consciously aware of it. Think about something that's coming up in your life. Right now, we're trying to get taxes done. And my wife, who's not only the beauty of our duo, she's also the brains. There's just paperwork and there's everything everywhere on the dining room table. And I know leading up to it, in the weeks leading up to this, when we talked about it, she was like, oh, here comes taxes. And in her mind, she was getting little visual snapshots of what it was going to look like to have to get all the paperwork out, to open the laptop, to sort through bills and receipts and things like that. And these are the things that we do. If you think about something coming up at work, something important, an important project that's coming up at work, we visualize what has to get done. Maybe we even visualize when we think about, oh, I'm going to have a confrontation with so-and-so today, or, when I get home, I have to get fill in the blank done. And we remember things, we think of things as like little snapshots, little still images of what it is that we're going to do or that we did do. And unfortunately, a lot of times, we envision the worst case scenario, don't we? We envision how bad it's going to be, right? We hope for the best, prepare for the worst. We use that adage. And this is where anxiety and fear take hold. Because remember, our brains don't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. Our brains respond as if it's actually happening or as if it's actually happened, even if we're just imagining it. And this is why the fight or flight or freeze response kicks in when we imagine something bad or when we imagine something that's unpleasant. When we think of the worst possible outcome of a future event, our brains can't tell the difference between it being real or having happened or being imagined. So it prepares for the incident as if it's real. But think about this. If we have the ability to create the worst case scenario and prepare for the worst, don't we also have the same ability to prepare for the best possible outcome? Can't we at least create in our minds the success that we want to achieve, even if we just pretend just for a moment or two? So from now on, maybe you can imagine positive outcomes in your life. And even if you don't have a lot of faith in it, even if you think, oh, come on, this is silly, this is never going to turn out. Well, here's the thing. You can use your imagination and pretend, even if just for a few minutes a day, even for just a few minutes at a time, your brain will respond the same way during that time as if it's actually happened. Your brain responds to the same in the same way. So you can do this for just a few minutes, a couple times a day, and as you do that, you will actually slowly begin to rewire your brain to think positively. And so today we're going to have fun, because today we're going to have fun pretending. So get ready to feel that childlike wonder and awe and of daydreaming and using your imagination to see just how easy it is and fun to create different outcomes in your mind. But first, as with all visualization, this has got to be said to make the lawyers happy and to make my lawyer happy. Whenever you're practicing visualization techniques, it's important to know that you would never do this while you're driving or when your attention needs to be given someplace else. I mean, this show is recorded so you can listen to it as a podcast later on your favorite podcast app. So if you're driving right now, I hate to say this, but tune me out, turn me off. If you're involved in an activity that is taking care of someone or something that needs your attention, come back to this later, because we're going to become immersed in visualization and guided imagery. So we're going to begin with an anchoring technique. And an anchoring technique is just something that you can use anytime, anywhere, and no one's even going to know that you're doing anything. And it's a good way to anchor in good feelings of calm and peace and safety. And it's just a simple action that we do this with. And this is something that I share with all my clients. I teach them this. And hypnosis, mindfulness is a skill that you can learn. So it is something that you're being taught. And it's a way for them to feel safe, to feel calm, and to feel peaceful. And once you understand the simplicity of this, well, then you can create whatever it is that you want to create in your mind and in your life. So once we learn this technique, then we can go on to other techniques, maybe even something that bothers us or we have a fear of. So here we go. Go ahead and close your eyes. Go ahead and close your eyes. Yeah, I know. Trust me. Close your eyes. And to help you focus and relax even deeper, I'm simply going to count backwards from 3. As 3, just becoming aware of your body occupying space wherever you are. The number 2, bringing your awareness down to your breathing. And the number 1, as simple as that. You see, this is where you can bring yourself into this place of focus and ability to begin to stretch your mind, to begin to stretch your imagination in brand new ways. So let's take this a little bit further for a moment. I want you to think about something you'd like to find yourself doing more of. Something you'd like to find yourself doing more of, whether it's an activity, whether it's a task, whatever it might be, something you would like to find yourself doing more of. There you are. Perfect. You see, in this experience, your imagination is that rehearsal room in your mind. And in your imagination, you can do anything you want and you can be anywhere you desire. So take this moment now and simply begin to imagine yourself in whatever you consider to be a peaceful, relaxing place, whatever that means to you. Now, for some people, it might be a vacation spot. Maybe it's more personal. It might be a moment in time with a friend or family member or a loved one. And it doesn't even have to be that detailed. It might be as normal and every day as your own bedroom. There's no right, there's no wrong. Indeed, whatever first pops into your mind is perfectly appropriate. So just simply imagine yourself in whatever you consider to be a peaceful, relaxing place. And just simply begin to imagine that you're there now. And in the privacy of your own mind, begin to imagine the sights, the sounds, the feelings that are so peaceful, that are so comfortable, that are so relaxing of that scene wherever it might be. Just spend some time in that place in the privacy of your own thoughts in this brief moment now. And we can begin to use this as if like a resource, to have the ability to call on this calm, at ease, focused state of mind anytime you choose. And this is a process of giving some rather simple instructions, and it's your mind, and it's your body that already knows how to put the process together. So now simply follow these instructions. With either hand, it doesn't matter which hand you use, just touch the tips of your thumb and finger together, and it doesn't matter which finger, just to touch the tips or the ends of your thumb and finger together now. And now begin to squeeze those tips together, push those tips together tightly, hold them tightly together for just a moment. And now as you think the word relax, as you release them now, thinking that word relax, just let those fingers drift apart. And allow that simple action of squeezing them and then releasing them to serve as a reminder to your inner mind to be calm, confident, and free to think with a clear mind, using your best skills, your abilities, your wisdom to be the best you can be, to be at peace within, and to relax into this familiar state of mind at any time you choose. And it's like a muscle. The more we exercise it, the more we feed it the appropriate rest and nutrition, that's when this skill, like I said, this is a skill, it gets even stronger. So one more time, take that thumb and finger, squeeze those tips together, push them together tightly, hold them together for just a moment now, and now think that word relax as you release them. Let them drift apart. Wonderful. That simple action, paired with that word, serves as an anchor, a tool, a trigger. It's a reminder to your inner mind to be calm, confident, and free to think with a clear mind, using everything you know to be true, to be the best you can to be at peace within, and to relax into this desired state of mind anytime, anywhere, without anyone even knowing you're doing something. And we can put this to use. In a moment, I'm going to have you go through that scene, imagining there you are, engaging in this thing you'd like to find yourself doing more of. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Take that thumb and finger, squeeze those tips together, push them together tightly, hold them together for just a moment, and now think that word relax. And as you release them, be there now. Engaging in this new behavior, so natural, so normal, so easy, as if that's just the way you've always done it, as if that's just the way it's always been. And now maybe there were times in the past where you weren't engaged in this new behavior. But today, now you get to change the story. So go to that place now and stop. Take that thumb and finger, squeeze those tips together, push them together tightly, hold them together for just a moment, and now think that word relax as you release them. Be there now, engaging in this new activity, in this new behavior, so naturally, so normally, so easily, as if that's just the way you've always done it. This is nothing new. This is who you are. As if a little mindset flowing through the back of your mind, whenever the opportunity arises to either call on this peaceful, relaxing feeling or to engage in this new behavior, a simple mindset in the back of your mind. I've got this. This is going to be easy. Or, hey, even better yet, this is going to be fun. Because as you give yourself that suggestion, that becomes your reality. And as you are ready to take that step, to step into that reality for yourself, as you're ready to take these skills, these capabilities and resources and comfort all over again, just take as much time as you need. And when you are ready to carry that positive energy into this moment now, just notice how easy it is to let those eyes open, feeling refreshed, feeling alert, feeling good. And you do feel good, don't you? Okay, there you go. Well, welcome. If that's not your first, welcome to guided imagery. And if that is your first time, welcome to a way that you were guided in imagining the sights, imagining the sounds, and imagining the feelings of a place that was familiar to you, a place that was peaceful and calm. And this is something you can use, again, anytime, anywhere, without anyone knowing you're doing anything. Just taking that thumb and finger, squeezing them together, imagining there you are in that calm, comfortable place, and then create whatever feelings you would like to create. And we use that, I believe, if my memory's correct, going back a couple minutes now, and with my brain it's a crapshoot at any moment. But we talked about putting it to use, about engaging in an activity that you'd like to find yourself doing more of. So you can use this for motivation. You can use this technique for determination. You can use this technique if you want to feel calm, relaxed. Whatever positive feeling you'd like to feel, use this technique. Practice this technique. The more you practice it, the better you become at it. And here's the paradox to that. The better you become at it, the less you need it. The more you practice it, the better you become, the less you need it. And it's anchoring, and we call it an anchor, but it's really, if you think about it, it's just a way, maybe you can think of it as a trigger. It's triggering that memory of that safe, calm, relaxing place, wherever that was, and you get to keep that to yourself. This isn't about you sharing where you were, what you were doing, who you were with in that calm, relaxing place. One of the beauties of hypnosis and mindfulness is it's very personal, and it's not about trying to pull things out of the client and have them tell us what they're doing. This is in the privacy of your own mind. So again, practice this, have fun with it, and I'd like to hear your feedback from it if you have a chance. Send me a note, send me an email. Let me know what you're using it for. Practice it with all different kind of things, and you'll realize just how easy it is to use this. And eventually, over time, the more you practice it, again, short little pieces of time, this will come to you, and it'll be an easy way for you to practice this visualization technique. And on the other side of this break, we're going to practice more visualization, and guided imagery techniques so you can take them even to the next level. And we'll do that right after we come back.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
The Voice America Live Events channel is here now to showcase your corporate, individual, or organization's live event. Visit voiceamerica.com/live events to see all of our past live events and find out more. Whether it's a multi-day conference, special speaker, or single-day event, we've got everything to make your event a success. We can do a few hours or a few days. For more information about taking your event to the next level, call Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or email info@voiceamerica.com. Again, that's Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or send us an email to info@voiceamerica.com. Voice America is where you are and where you want to be. Join us around the globe as we broadcast live from some of the most interesting events available. Don't forget to view all our live events, including on-demand access to past events that you may have missed by visiting voiceamerica.com/live events.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click Register at the top right. Success starts here. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. It's your world.
You're listening to Thinking Hypnotically, Living Mindfully. To reach the program today, you're welcome to call in to 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send Rusty an email, his email address is 13.rwilliams@gmail.com. Now back to Thinking Hypnotically, Living Mindfully.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. So there you go. You now have a place which we call, wasn't my technique, by the way. This is what is commonly referred to, what you just practiced before the break, a safe place anchor. You have a safe place that you can anchor good feelings in, and good feelings can anchor in those reminders, those feelings of that safe, comfortable, relaxing, peaceful place. So now we can take this even further. Again, another caveat, if you're just tuning in and you are driving, you are involved in an activity that requires your full undivided attention someplace else, for your own safety, turn me off, shut me down, come back later, record this, listen to it on your favorite podcast later. And I'd recommend that anyway, by the way, because you can practice this. We weren't sure what we were going to do today as far as, are we going to do all these things live? And maybe you weren't expecting, I'm going to be practicing all this. Well, you can just listen then and come back later. You can go to voiceamerica.com. I'll be posting it and sharing it, a link to this show on our page, both our website and the Facebook page. So you can listen to it later and really become absorbed and really take it for what it's worth. So don't think, I'm not doing this right. I can't do it. Maybe just listen for right now so you get an idea of how it works. And then later on, as a recording, listen to it and then really put it to use. So we have this safe place anchor. Now we can go on to other things. And we can have fun with this. And it's important to have fun with this, by the way. Mindfulness shouldn't be some laborious activity that you're not looking forward to. It should be fun. And so let's have fun with this some more. Let's think about some positive traits that you would like to feel. That if you felt more of whatever positive trait it might be. Maybe it's confidence. Maybe it's determination. Maybe it's a sense of peace or calm, or maybe it's even physical comfort. Maybe it's spiritual comfort. Whatever it is that you'd like to feel more of, that if your life had a little more of this in it, well, things would be pretty good. So think of some of those traits. Some of those things you'd like to have more of. We're not talking about getting rid of anything right now. We'll do that later, I promise. Let's think about things that if you had a little more of them in your life, a little more of these feelings, a little more of this, whatever it is, life would be pretty good. So again, and you can do this, by the way, with your eyes open or closed. It doesn't matter. It works just the same. Another visualization technique that you can use to create these positive changes. Remember, the brain can't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. It responds the same way. So I'd like you to imagine now. Imagine now that wherever you are, there's a pond right where you are. Maybe you're in a field, maybe it's a meadow. Wherever it is, just imagine a beautiful, very calm, still pond. And you can imagine whatever you want to imagine around this pond, whether there's trees or flowers or shrubs, or maybe it's an open area. Whatever it is. Again, there's no right, there's no wrong. Whatever first comes to your mind is perfectly appropriate. A pond so calm, so still, just reflecting the sky off its surface. That's how calm it is, like a sheet of glass. And over there, right over by the pond, is a pile of stones, a pile of rocks. And this pile of rocks, each rock has a word or a phrase in it, something that you would like to find yourself feeling more of, a physical trait, an emotional trait, an ability, something positive that you would like to find yourself feeling more of, that if you had more of this in your life, yeah, you know what? Life would be a little better. Maybe it'd be a lot better. Go over to that pile now. Imagining there you are going over. Pick up one of those rocks. Turn it over and see what word is there. See what phrase is there, that positive trait that you want. Feel that rock in your hand. Feel the texture of it. Feel the temperature of it. Feel the weight of it in your hand. Perfect. And now I want you to go over to the pond. And this is a very deep pond. And of course, everything, the surface and above, it's what you're aware of. That's your conscious mind, right? That's what you're aware of. Everything below the surface, it still exists. It's just you're not aware of it. You can't see it. And that is your unconscious, your subconscious. Whenever you are ready, on your own, drop that stone, drop that rock into that pond. See the ripple of the water at first as those waves kind of spread out. And now imagine as if you could see under the water. Watch this stone, watch this rock drifting down, slowly drifting down, deeper and deeper and deeper down into the subconscious, deeper and deeper into this pond, floating, drifting all the way down. The further it goes, the more it becomes intense, the more it just expands, becomes more real as it goes closer and closer to that bottom. And as it hits the bottom of that pond bed, poof, maybe there's a little cloud of dirt as it rests, as it settles into the bottom of that pond, now permanently implanted there, always there. Even though you might not see it, even though you might not be aware of it above the pond, there it is, firmly embedded in that pond now. So go back over to that pile of rocks. This is where you can have fun with this. Maybe just allow your mind just to be free and pick up whatever rock you're drawn to. Turn it over, and maybe there's a word, maybe there's a phrase, maybe there's something there that your unconscious mind is trying to tell you, another positive trait, something really good. See what that word is. Maybe smile a little, chuckle a little. Maybe it's something you weren't expecting. Feel the weight of that stone again. Feel the texture. Feel the temperature of it. Go over to that pond. You know the routine now. Whenever you are ready, drop that stone in the pond. The ripples initially as it starts sinking down, and now you're looking under the water, watching it sink lower and lower, deeper and deeper into the subconscious, floating, drifting all the way down there, feeling better as it does, all the way down. And now as it comes to rest, poof, on that bottom of the pond, maybe there's again that little spread of dirt and mud as it kind of settles there, right next to that other stone, right next to that other rock. Deeply implanted in your subconscious now. Now, come on all the way back to where you were. The pond's still there, the stones are still there, but now you can listen back. Here we go. A simple, easy visualization technique, another one that you can use anytime, anywhere. And nobody really needs to know you're doing anything. This is something you can have fun with. If ever you're wondering, you're torn, you're not sure what's going on. If you remember a few episodes ago, we talked about how you can listen to the messages that your subconscious mind is trying to share with you. How you can become aware of them and start to trust them. This is a visualization technique that you can do without, I don't need to guide you on this anymore. Now you know what to do. You can imagine that pond. Imagine that there's a pile of rocks by it. And you can practice this going over to those pile of rocks, the pile of stone, whatever you want to call them. Pick up a stone, pick up a rock, turn it over, and see what word is in there. And allow that to be where you can start practicing to trust your subconscious mind. Maybe it's a word, maybe it's a phrase, whatever positive attribute, and it's always going to be positive. It's always something that you want to instill more of in your life. But maybe by doing that, you learn to trust the unconscious mind, trust your subconscious mind, what it's communicating to you. And with that trust, you start to build the positive feelings, the positive emotions, even the positive outcomes in your life. Because again, remember what we said, the brain can't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. It's going to respond. It's going to send those chemicals, those neurotransmitters, the same way if we pretend something's happening, if we just imagine it, or if it's actually happening. So your brain is actually going to start to learn to rewire itself. And again, this is something that you can do and have fun with whenever you want. I like doing this just every now and then just to see what my subconscious mind is telling me, is trying to guide me in what direction I should take. So there's something positive to put into your life. Positive attributes. A simple visualization that you can practice, again, anytime, anywhere. Well, I wouldn't do it when you're driving. Again, please don't do this when you're driving. But you can practice this and make it part of your daily ritual if you want. Make it part of a weekly ritual, whatever it is. So that's adding something, adding positive things. What about getting rid of some of the crap that we no longer need, right? Right now is not a great pain day for me. The past couple of days, the pain has been really off the charts, and so I've been practicing the mindfulness techniques, practicing self-hypnosis. There's one technique I'm going to share with you now that I use that is very helpful, not just for emotional, spiritual baggage, garbage, those feelings that we don't want to have, but it's also good for physical sensations that don't serve us anymore. So this takes about 7 minutes. So just get comfortable. Again, we're going to use visualization. And I want you to imagine now that you're in a field someplace. You're in a field, a meadow, some clearing. Wherever it is in your mind, be there now. And the weather is exactly the way you like it. And I'd like you to think about whatever it is that you'd like to have less in your life. Maybe it's a feeling. Maybe it's fear, worry, concern. Maybe it's feeling depressed. Maybe it's feeling anxious. Maybe it's a physical sensation. Maybe it's actually pain like I'm feeling. So I'm going to do this one with you, by the way, because right now I'm not feeling very comfortable. I'm being completely honest with you. I'm standing up here and I'm kind of leaning on one leg, trying to get the pain to stop going down the other leg. So let's see if this works. We'll do it together. Here's the thing. You're in this field, beautiful field, open area, whatever it is, a meadow, wherever you are. Think about that feeling, that sensation, that emotion that you would like to get rid of, that you would like to let go of. And I want you now with your hand physically do this. You know, we all, whether it's physical, if it's physical, it's easy. If my knee's in pain, I can do it. If it's emotional, spiritual, point to that place in your body now with your hand. Point to that place where it manifests itself. When I'm feeling anxious, I know mine is in my chest. So wherever you feel that sensation, whether it's worry or fear, whether it's anxiety, whether it's stress, whatever it is, if it's a physical sensation, obviously this makes it easy. Point to that now. Go ahead and close your eyes. if they're not already closed. And I want you to imagine wherever you're pointing, there's a color associated with that feeling. Without thinking anything about it, the first thing that comes to mind, that's the color of it right now. And now that you have that color in mind, that sensation, that feeling, that thing has a shape to it. What's the shape of it now? Again, first thing that comes to mind, perfectly appropriate. There's no right, there's no wrong, whatever shape it is. And I want you to imagine if you were to make a fist, is it smaller or is it bigger than the size of your fist? Perfect. So the first thing we're going to do is this. I want you to imagine, allow yourself to let the color drain from it. As if you're watching, it's up on there on a TV screen or a movie screen. There it is. It's a still image, but it's got color. Now as if the color is draining out of it. Let the color drain out of it so that it turns to black and white, like an old black and white photograph or an old black and white movie. Drain that color out of it now. Good. And now change the shape of it. Change the shape of it to something that your subconscious mind knows is more soothing. If it's square, you can make it a circle. If it's a circle, make it a triangle. If it's a squiggly line, whatever it is, just change the shape of it. It can be subtle, it can be drastic, dramatic, it doesn't matter. Whatever your unconscious mind knows is the best. Just something, change the shape of it. Awesome. And now I want you to shrink it down. Shrink that down now. And as it shrinks down, give it a new color. As it's becoming smaller and smaller, give it a new color that's calming, that's peaceful, that represents comfort to you. As it's shrinking down to the size where you could hold it in your hand, give it a new color, a color that's comforting, that's calming, that's peaceful. So now it's as if it's like a size of a marble in your hand, a new size, a new shape, and this new color. Perfect. And now you can imagine there you are, and there's a balloon, the helium balloon, like you find at children's parties or at county fairs, a red helium balloon with a long string attached to it, the kind that kids carry around at a fair or on the boardwalk or at birthday parties, a helium balloon with a long string. And I want you to take this new size and shape object that you have in your hand, tie it to the end of that string. Tie it really tight. You don't want it to fall off. Tie it really tight. Wrap it around. Physically do this with your hands. Imagine there you are tying this thing to this string. Real tight. Wrap it around. And now whenever you are ready to let it go of that string and watch that balloon start to rise in the air. And there's a gentle breeze behind you, so as the balloon gets a little higher and a little higher now, it's also being pushed off away from you a little bit by the breeze. As it gets higher and higher, it gets smaller and smaller. That red helium balloon, taking that thing, carrying that thing up there, higher into the sky, a little further away from you, further and further away. And notice how that feeling changes. Notice how that sensation that used to be there is different now. Let it go higher and higher. You can watch it with a sense of wonder, a sense of awe. And as it goes further and further and drifts further towards the horizon, whenever it gets to a point, a place up in that sky where if you were ever wanted to look at it, if you ever thought, well, I'm curious if it's still there. Oh, there it is. I'd look for it up in the sky and it's there. It's a place that you're aware that it's up there, but you just don't care about it. It's like, I don't give a damn. It's an agnostic attitude, if you will. It's up there, but you're not even aware of it. When it gets to that point, and you're aware that it's up there, you can just open your eyes up, have a nice stretch, feel really good about it, and notice what's different about that old feeling now. And I can tell you right now, as I'm standing here, and I don't know when it happened during what I just said, I'm now standing on both my feet, standing straight up instead of leaning off to the side. Is it still there if I wanted to think about it? Yeah, that's still there. But it's way up there and I don't have to think about it. I don't even want to look at it. So it's there, but we don't have to be aware of it. And that is a simple technique that you can practice. When you have 7-8 minutes, practice that, use that, letting go of those things that no longer serve you well. You did really great. That's awesome. Oh, okay. I'm talking to myself. I know I did really great, and I'm sure you had a very similar experience. Now, we're up against the break. When we come back, let's take this, let's bump it up even higher. Let's work on, if we have time, let's work on fears, something like that. And we can use a visualization technique to rapidly get rid of fears and things like that. And we'll do that right on the other side of this break.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics. If you think you've seen online TV before, let us surprise you.
VoiceAmerica.tv is online now.
The leader in live internet talk radio has done it again. Multiple channels, a state-of-the-art viewing experience, live and on-demand programs streaming 24 hours a day. It's exactly what you want, when you want it.
VoiceAmerica.tv.
From health and wellness to business, sports, and everything in between. Discover our new world. Visit VoiceAmerica.tv now and experience the future of online television.
VoiceAmerica.tv. We're on Facebook along with some of the greatest minds of the world, and that includes you. Visit us on Facebook at Voice America Empowerment.
You're listening to Thinking Hypnotically, Living Mindfully. To reach the program today, you're welcome to call in to 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send Rusty an email, his email address is 13.rwilliams@gmail.com. Now back to Thinking Hypnotically, Living Mindfully.
Well, welcome back. Here we are, ready to take it up even another notch. We started with an anchoring of a safe place, the safe place anchor, and then we took the visualization to instilling good traits, good feelings, good emotions, good sensations by using that pile of rocks in the pond. And then we flipped it around to use visualization and guided imagery, if you will, to let go of things that are no longer useful to us. Maybe at one time they were, but now we don't need them anymore. Feelings, emotions, even physical issues. So let's bump it up even higher in this last segment here. All of us have things we're afraid of. Some of us have things we're afraid of. They're called phobias, and this is not a medical show, so I don't use medical terms. So I'm going to call them fears. But let's talk about the fears that are irrational. You know, it's not a bad thing to have a fear of heights. You don't want to be up on a 20-story building playing around on a balcony because you don't have any fear of heights. But we're talking for this segment, irrational fears, fears that are unhealthy. So what we're going to do now is practice a technique, practice visualization, guided imagery, whatever you want to call it, that helps you release and get rid of fears very rapidly. This only takes maybe 5 or 6 minutes, and you'll feel so much better about that thing that used to bother you. So get comfortable, get relaxed. This is called the rewind technique. It comes from a father and son hypnosis team over in the UK. Last name is Jacqueline. It's their rewind technique. So here we go. So imagine right now, wherever you are, imagine that you're sitting in an empty movie theater. very safe, very secure, just you in this empty movie theater, and you're looking up at a blank movie screen. That's right. And now I want you to leave your body behind, as if you could leave your body behind, and just drift up out of your body and up into that projection booth, up in that projection room in the back of the theater. And now that you're up there, you can see the glass, and you can see through the glass, and you can see yourself down there looking up at the movie screen. And in a moment, you're going to run a movie. And remember, this is just a film. You're just going to watch it. And for the purpose of this, let's say we have a fear of spiders. Irrational fear of spiders. So in a minute, you're going to run a movie. Just remember, this is just a film. You're just going to watch it. So turn on the projector now. And there's a still image of you. And it appears there you are standing outside a set of double doors that lead to a room. Again, stay in the projection room. This is just a film. And now I want you to go ahead and press play and watch yourself walking through those double doors into that room. There are the spiders in the room. Watch yourself walking through the room. There's a door on the other side. See yourself walking out that door, closing it behind you, safe and sound on the other side, as if this is just a completely fictional account. Now, if you want, you can even run the movie until you're somewhere else entirely, where everything is calm, everything is relaxed. Now, in a moment, I'm going to make this sound, zoop. And when I do that, I want you to rewind that movie incredibly fast, just like you've hit the rewind search button. You're going to see that whole thing whiz backwards so fast, just taking a second or two. Ready? Here we go. Do that now. Zoop, backwards, until once again you see yourself standing outside those double doors. Good. Now, in a moment, you're going to run that again, only this time as a cartoon. A cartoon room with cartoon spiders, and the sillier you make it, the better. You'll watch yourself walking through those doors into a cartoon room with cartoon spiders with cartoon faces and cartoon legs, wearing cartoon boots, goofy little boots, funny little red boots and yellow boots and blue boots. And they're playing in a silly band. They're playing a silly song, maybe a whole group of them. That's right. It's never going to bother you again. Ready? Press play. Watch yourself walking through those doors into that cartoon room filled with cartoon spiders with those funny cartoon faces, those funny cartoon legs dancing, those funny cartoon boots, all those different colors of blue and yellow, playing in that funny, crazy spider band. See yourself waving goodbye as you walk out the door on the other side, closing it behind you, safe and sound. Pause the film. And again, I want you to rewind that incredibly quick, just a second or two. Ready? Here we go. Zoop, backwards, until once again you see yourself standing outside those double doors. And in a moment, you're going to run that cartoon again. Only this time, you're going to add some music. Now, this could be like the Looney Tunes music that you would watch on Saturday afternoon cartoons. Maybe it's a few bars of a favorite song. It could even be circus music. You know, like do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, whatever it is. There's no right, there's no wrong. Indeed, whatever music pops into your head is perfectly appropriate. Just get some music in your mind now. Okay, hear that music playing now. It keeps playing from now on. Ready? Press play. And once again, watch yourself going into that cartoon room with those cartoon spiders, wearing those goofy little cartoon boots with those cartoon legs, with those goofy, silly cartoon faces, playing in that silly, goofy cartoon band with that music playing. See yourself waving goodbye as you walk out the door to the other side, close it behind you, safe and sound. Pause the film. And rewind. Zoop! Standing outside those doors now. Back outside those doors. And I'd like you now to drift back down into that theater seat. Drift down there now. And now walk up to that movie screen and see yourself up there on that screen. Walk up to that screen and see yourself up there on that movie screen. And you can thank yourself for doing that. Do that now. And now reach into that screen and pull yourself out of that screen into your own body with these new learnings and understandings. You see, this will never bother you again. From today, in fact, the harder you try to remember what it was like to feel that old fear of spiders, the more distant it will become. The harder you were to try, the more distant it becomes. Because from today, it will be easy. The harder you try to find those old feelings, the more distant they become. And you can enter those situations knowing you are safe and well protected. There you go. Simple, easy. What did that take? 4 or 5 minutes? An easy way that you can remember things differently. Remember that you're safe. You went all the way to the end. You came back. You're safe, secure. Those things will never bother you again. That's the power of the unconscious mind. And by the way, that's a technique. I can share this with you. When people go to a hypnotist with a fear, and they call it a phobia, they're under the belief, and I know I was initially, that this is going to be some long process where I'm somehow going to be hypnotized to have to go through this some traumatic event and all these things, and it's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult. When in reality, a lot of times, the simpler the solution, the simpler the answer, the better it is, the easier it is. So that's a technique that you can use, and I would encourage you to use. And again, this show's recorded, so if you didn't catch it all that first time that I did it, you can catch it as a recording, as a podcast, and play itself through. This is a technique, by the way. Remember, I told you my life's an open book. This is a technique that I use, and once you do it a couple times, you won't need to listen to anyone narrating it. You'll just know what to do, and it'll be fun, and you'll have fun with it. And the crazier and goofier you make that cartoon scene, the better. And if you have some funny music, maybe Benny Hill comes to mind, or Monty Python's Flying Circus. The goofier the cartoon, the sillier the faces of it, the sillier everything about it, the better it works. Even the music. Again, we want to hit all the different learning styles. We're visual people. We hear things. We feel things. But this is a technique that I use. Sometimes when I'm giving a presentation, a workshop, when I'm asked to do a keynote or be part of a panel, it's only normal to be nervous. And there are times before I walk out or before I'm introduced that, I can feel that sense of nervousness building. Now, remember, we tend to follow these things down and down and down, and then we think about the worst case scenario. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. Instead, I use this technique to break that. I use this technique to break that and feel really good about myself. And I do it by simply eliminating that really unhealthy, the unneeded, and it's really irrational fear that I have. And I picture myself walking out there, and there's the whole room is one big cartoon room, and there's everyone out there is a different cartoon character in the audience, and the microphone is dancing. Imagine that. Now you have an idea of how my mind works. But I picture the microphone that I'm talking into, it's a dancing microphone, and everything is funny about it. And I use this technique, and I walk out the other end of the room, because you can use this to walk out the room itself. So I walk out that room safe and sound on the other side, and then come back and do it all over again. Rinse and repeat often. So I know it works. I know it works for me. I know it works for my clients. And I know you're going to have a lot of success with it. Okay, there were some visualization techniques, some guided imagery techniques that you can use, that you can take with you. You can use to enhance your life, to enhance the quality of your life. And I hope you'll use them, practice them, and I'd love to hear your feedback. And these are only, by the way, a brief sampling of what's out there as far as guided imagery and visualization. These are just some of my favorites. Now, in the beginning of the show, I gave you that little teaser. I talked about, hey, I'm going to have something to share with you at the end of the show. With all the talk, all the news, wherever you turn, with the COVID-19, the coronavirus, there's a lot of good information, but there's also a lot of bad information out there. And over the past week or so, I got to thinking, how can I contribute to doing something healthy for others? And so what I've done is I've made 2 audio recordings, 2 MP3 files. You see, the best way to avoid getting sick, one of the ways, I won't say the best way, I'm not a doctor, is to stay healthy. The healthier we are, the less risk we have of getting sick. And if we do get sick, we won't get as sick. So I've made 2 recordings. One recording is a They're each about 40 minutes, by the way. So these are true hypnosis sessions that you can listen to. A pair of headphones would be great. One is to boost your immune system. There are studies, dozens and dozens and dozens of studies that have shown how hypnosis boosts the immune system. And it's a guided imagery type, something similar to what we've done here with using metaphors and things like that, that will boost your immune system. The other recording I labeled healthy habits. You know, we've heard that touching the eyes, touching the nose, touching the mouth is what can bring this virus, any virus, into our body. So it's about healthy habits, about hand washing, and about not touching surfaces. They're available for free, will be available on our website by the end of the week. Email me, 13.rwilliams, if you want a copy. I'm going to thank you for joining me today. I had a lot of fun. I feel a lot better. I hope you feel a lot better. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday.